Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Play Every Day. I'm Timic Gift, and every day I get to welcome these sports influencers to take on the Minnesota sports talkers of the day. Let's do a little attendance here, if we can. We have Tanishka Mhaskar, a budding medical student at Case Western University, and at the same time creating sports content around your Minnesota Vikings and your Minnesota Wild. Then we have Alexis Pearson. I only get Alexis once a week. She's a sports content creator, play-by-play voice for women's hockey, and one half of the super popular Bar Down Beauties podcast. And as I'm looking out the window and I'm watching the snow coming down, I'm saying to myself, if there was ever a time that a guy needed his own custom patch knit hat from Northern Lids, now would be that time. But Darrell Thompson doesn't have that. Darrell can't be with us today, so I went to the bullpen and I reached out to the man, the myth, the legend, C. Willie Miles, and he said, I'll come on one condition.
Absolutely. If I can tell you what Darrell doesn't have that I do have.
There we go.
Beanie,
nice.
baby.
That looks good on you, C. Willie.
Have one of these. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
I got to give you the full treatment here. The solo layout.
Oh, my God. It is so cool. I really like it. There you go. Thank you, brother. Now, there.
Lean into that camera. Show everybody that logo.
Wow. Personalized, customized C. Willie knit hat. I guess Tanishka and I aren't that cool.
Isn't right? That absolute bomb?
Hey, man. Seriously, man. My buddies over there at Nick Gross over at Custom Lids, they hooked a brother up at Northern Lids, man. I'm excited. I love it.
You look good in it. You look good in everything, right? But you look good in it.
Look, man, I'm just trying to represent. Just trying to represent who I am. Be the best version of yourself. I wear it on my face, on my head, on my body, in my heart.
There we go.
I'm taking your word for it, the body part. That's all I'm saying. I'm just going to take your word for it.
Oh, you need to go to my IG. That's
he's in the gym all
videos, man. I'm like, this don't just happen, man. You got to go in and put in the work, right? To this, because she's a biology person. She's medical people. This all this. You got to keep this. That microphone don't hold itself. That's just an award back there. These are awards. That's the ones I hold are heavier than that.
Well, but I want to give a big quick shout out to Darrell Thompson. Darrell traveling down to Iowa City to go see his son play basketball against the Hawkeyes for the Indiana Hoosiers, and hoping for the absolute best travel conditions. No joke out there where he's heading. So we are obviously wishing him the best. And thank you for filling in, C. Willie. And Tyler Furness is here for it. He is absolutely here for it. So thank you. Hey, you guys. Obviously, the topic all week has been, and no secret, your Minnesota Vikings. And what I've been doing all week is, as people have come onto this program, kind of giving them kind of the floor and to talk about their first thoughts and maybe where this thing has gone since then. And Alexis, I saved the best to last. This is my first chance to talk to you about this. And I know what a hardcore Vikings fan you are. So where are you on this whole thing?
Well, I always joke around. There's like a few things that are like a dead giveaway that I'm a hardcore Minnesotan. One of them is that I love negative degree temps. Second one is I always have hockey skates in my car. And the third one is that I feel bad when people get fired and traded in sports. That's how you know I'm a hardcore Minnesotan. So obviously it was a change that was needed. Zimmer and Spielman needed to go, but it made me really sad. And I think it was the saddest part for me wasn't when it happened. It was the Bears game when like Zimmer knew he was done and he's like kind of taking in all of like the last moments of coaching for the Vikings. That was like the saddest part for me, more so than like when it actually happened and they gave out their statements afterward and all of that. But it was a change that was needed. And I know there's like a lot of debate going on about, was the culture bad? Some of the players say it was, some say it wasn't. Is it just lip service? What actually was the deal with the coaching staff, and was there a good relationship with the players? But either way, it was something that needed to happen because I think the Vikings have too much talent to have the kind of coaching and play calling that was going on, at least in the later stages of Zim's career. And you could tell fans were frustrated, and not that fans should dictate, who's the coach and all of that, but it was a change that was a long time coming. And I'm excited to see what the future holds, because I do think there's a lot of really good pieces to this Minnesota Vikings team. And if they can find a coach and a GM who complement that, I think this Vikings team could be capable of a lot in the near future.
I think that's the thing we're hearing right now, Tanishka, is that the Vikings are right now the prime job, the prime opportunity, both at the general manager position and at the head coach position, because they look at stable ownership, new stadium, new facilities, and commitment to winning, and owners that are going to give you some time and space to operate. So based on, you're fairly well connected with climb the pocket, some of the other things that you write for. Any names out there really excite you for any reasons? Because it seems like we were talking yesterday, it seems like they're going to have to go out of their way to screw this one up, because it sounds like we have a lot of really good candidates.
Yeah, they're starting with the general manager first, and I just like the 8 names that they have put slips out to interview all just sound exciting. Just in the idea that they're all analytics based, and that's kind of the direction that they want to go in. And I just think that there's 3 teams that are in a need for a new general manager, and we most likely most people think that we are the best location, but even then, there's tons of really good general manager candidates. So yeah, it would be really hard to screw it up. I like both of the Browns guys that they're interviewing, and just I don't think they could really mess it up, but we'll see.
You guys are giving too much credit to a Minnesota sports team.
I know.
I mean, geez, I want to be optimistic.
But if I said
too,
it, Willie was going to jump all over me for being negative. So I'm like, somebody please tell me we're not saying a Minnesota team can't screw this up. So a team that can screw it up. Yesterday, the Houston Texans fired David Culley for 1 year as a head coach of their team. He has 43 years of experience as a college and NFL assistant before he finally got that job as a head coaching position. He took over a team that was 4-13, and he managed to win 4 games without the quarterback, who was their best player, Deshaun Watson, and other players that they took to gut the franchise. When he was released, their general manager, Nick Caserio, said it was a difficult but necessary decision, and that it came down to a difference in vision. And so I'm like, okay, what was the difference in vision? Culley wants the team to win, and Caserio wants them to suck? Because that would be the only difference that I can see. And Willie, this does leave us now with this firing with 1 black head coach in the National Football League.
It's almost pathetic. And I mean, that one was a shocker. And I don't think there wasn't one single person that I saw on Twitter that wasn't surprised or shocked by this firing. This was the last guy that you fired. I mean, he never had a chance. I mean, look what happened to him. You said it at the top. He started the season. He had no quarterback, and and they were in almost every single game. They showed up to play. The players love him. I mean, the guy's been around coaching for 43 years. That was a slap in the face to do that to a coach like that, man. When he didn't have a chance, he didn't have a chance. He had nothing to work with. And to be quite honest with you, and I'm saying this because I've been around football all my life. I don't know any team that a coach has taken over who was an African American, where they just took over a great team where a coach just walked away from it. Generally, they come in on a rebuild and they're there. I'm not saying they're all good. They're all great head coaches, but there are no great head coaches. Those are the ones who are, retired and no longer in the league. And then you got the Belichicks of the world, and you got coaches who have been around for years, and they'll just keep being around until they win a championship. But a lot of the black coaches don't get those opportunities to stick around that long. Lovie Smith did in Chicago, but look what he did. I mean, he had a decent record there. So did Tony Dungy. But you can go back and just look at all the coaches from the NFL that's been around for, Marv Levy, all these guys that were around for, 40 years, and look at their records. But I just think it's really sad that we look at a coach like Culley and then just treat him that way for no apparent reason. It was sad.
Honestly, he should have been in like Coach of the Year nominations with winning 4 games with that roster. I don't get it. I saw a report that they're super interested in Brian Flores now, and I guess maybe that's their play to get Deshaun Watson to stay because he loves Flores. But I don't. That was just probably one of the most unfair things that I've seen in a while.
To take away a player in that position of that ability from that team and to match the win total from the year before. And Bill O'Brien's a clown. I mean, he's managed to resurrect his career now with Alabama, where he can be the offensive coordinator. But man, all the things he did. Yeah. Well, yeah. So not a great situation. So the Vikings situation, Tyler Furness was on yesterday. He said he expects a head coach to be named by this time next week. So hopefully we'll have something to talk about, before the week is done. But a lot of speculation going on there. We do have a team that was on a 5-game win streak and is now on a 2-game losing streak because they couldn't quite pull it out last night in Memphis. The Timberwolves playing the Grizz, and this was a hard one to watch. Did you guys spend any time with this game last night? Because I'm about to go full-blown Timic Gift negative, so I just want to give somebody the chance to say something positive before I go.
Hey, the big 3, Cat, Ant, and D'Lo all played really well. I mean, it was really sad that nobody else showed up, but
exactly.
I mean, the positive is that they all balled.
I didn't get a chance to watch the game, and I feel bad as the biggest Wolves fan in the world saying that. But I was working last night, so I had to follow along on Twitter. And by the time I got home, the game was over, unfortunately. So my biggest takeaway from the game doesn't come from anything I watched in the game. But something that really stood out to me was a comment from Cat post-game. And a reporter asked him about something along the lines of, the fact that only 3 players showed up. And they're like, what about the other 12? What about everybody else? And he shut it down right away. And he's like, there's 15 of us. All 15 of us are held accountable. It doesn't matter what 3 do and what 12 don't, or what 10 do. And, whatever. He was basically saying, everybody needs to contribute in some way, shape, or form. And it doesn't matter that 3 of us had a great game if we don't come out on top. And I thought that was really great because Cat's obviously one of the leaders on this team. The Timberwolves are his team, right? See, Willie? So you got to stand up in that sense. I got you. And 2, I think there's been, at least in the years since the Wolves have sucked, which has been the last 15 years, 10 years, at least in that era, there's been a lot of players who have lacked accountability. Jimmy Butler, I'm looking at you, guys like that, where it's like, stuff goes wrong and everybody starts pointing fingers. And I think that we haven't seen guys take accountability in that way that Cat took it last night. And I think even Cat's been accused of not taking accountability sometimes and running away from the bigger problems surrounding the team. So I didn't get to watch the game, but I was very, very impressed with Cat's comment post-game. And I think that's a sign of a good team, is when players take accountability when things go wrong, even if it's not necessarily their fault. Like, Cat was one of the 3 good players last night, but he was like, no, this is all on us. And that really impressed me.
Yeah, to go with what you're saying, Ant said the same thing. They asked him about that, and he said, that was me last game. Yeah, I didn't show up, but here's where my Timic Gift moment of the night, and to show you my growth as a human being. So it's late first half, and the Wolves force a turnover up by 2, and they've got the ball, and so we're in there, Memphis' end of the court, and I just said casually, if they go to anyone else other than Ant with this basketball, I'm done with this game for the night. Because he has 25 points in the first half. He is scoring at will. It is absolutely his, at least at that time, they can't stop him. They have no answer for him. So they inbound the ball to Patrick Beverly. Now, if Beverly had looked at Ant and then took the shot, I would have been okay. But no, he puts his head down, drives to the basket, misses the shot, clank. We go to the halftime, and I go, and I think we're done here. And that's where I shut it down at that point right there. I didn't throw the remote. I show you my growth. I did not see Cat's big second half, Will. But I'm just like, Beverly did a great job on Ja Morant. If you hold Ja Morant to 16 points, you should win that game. But my God, just why would you not look for a guy who's that hot at that point in time in the game? What is the thought process, Willie? Help a brother out.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes when you feel like you got it, he might have the matchup that they were looking for. There's like several things that are said at the timeout, man. When you come out and if you get the right matchup, it was on him. He probably should have made that shot. I watched the game. I might have missed that play particularly because I do take walks around the house sometimes. I have to watch on it. It says time to get up and move around, and I do that. I try to stay true to who I am as a person. But the thing is,
that's how you got this.
And so I watch, and this is true though. But and I love what the way AP said here is that as a team, and I'm just going to be honest with you as a coach, is that you just can't get. You want your team to show up, but sometimes you cannot get everybody to show up on the same day. People have different problems, different issues going on in their lives, and these are grown men sometimes, and they got grown man issues, and I don't know, man, hangnails, I don't know, it's just all kind of stuff to be happening that you just can't get. And when you do, like I say too, look, they won 5 in a row, they lost 2, and I would not push the panic button because this team has an ebb and flow to them right now, and I like that. I don't particularly like what Fitch said about Big Cat, but I agree with him. I know you do. I agree with him, and he does.
I'm giving you solo layout for this, Willie. Here it comes, folks.
I will give you that, but that's been his game since day one, period. And I just don't think you're going to change that. That's just like Shaq. Shaq could not shoot free throws, period. He just couldn't shoot them, and it didn't get any better at the end of his career. No more than were they at the beginning of his career. Sometimes it is what it is, and Cat's going to get them offensive because he's hustling, he's trying, and he's a big whiner, and that's been his game. But so
the whine is not part of your game. That's a character flaw.
Oh no, whining, man. Like you may get 2 out of 5 whines as a foul, but you're going to get some. The more they win, the more those fouls are going to start going his way. He didn't get them because they were losing. But Michael Jordan used to draw fouls all the time.
Let's not compare Cat and Michael Jordan,
Look,
please.
I'm not comparing the two. I'm comparing the whining. If you go back and look at Kobe, and for God's sake, don't look at LeBron James then. Because but they get them calls because they're winning and they're good. And if those teams start creeping up to 60, 65% of the wins, he's going to start getting 65% of those calls.
And if his whining declines by 65%, then I'm on board.
Well, that ain't going to happen, Tim. You ain't never been on board with Big Cat. That's all.
No, you're wrong. He's a great talent. I think he spends too much time on things that don't help.
How? You look at his average points per game.
When your coach is telling you to stop in the media, it's time to stop.
No. Time to take it up a notch.
I'm with you, Willie. I'm here for the violence.
I'm taking up. That's his game, man. That's his game. That is his game, and that's what he's going to continue to do. Just like Lamar Jackson, just like
much like C. Willie, he's true to himself. Tim.
True, exactly.
Don't ask him to change.
What do they say? In this world, you got to be who you got to be, and that's who he is. And that's what his average. He's been the team leader in these categories since he's been there, and therefore, that's his game. It's built into who he is.
He's a great talent.
Yeah.
But the whining could be just reduced a little bit.
No. You won't stop. You want. Look how much you want. You are nuclear. You go nuclear all the time, and we try to intervene. Tim, you just got to be like, no, that's just who I am. I panic, and then I go, I'm done with this game.
I showed progress. There was no throwing. There was no bad words said. There was anything. I had other work I could do. That was growth. I didn't whine, Willie.
Put Amy on the camera. I guarantee you do that.
Man, look at the time. We got a lot of hockey to talk about.
I gotta take my hat off. You got me so hot up in here. I didn't get my makeup. I was filling in this morning. I didn't have my makeup person show up.
So we got the Minnesota. We're finally got a hockey game to talk about tonight.
Finally.
Does it seem like 9 years?
Yeah. We just don't play anymore.
And two all-star representatives.
Hockey team again?
Yeah,
it is still hockey season.
I thought it was over. Who won the
one at the age of 34, one of our all-star representatives.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an argument about the goaltending on this hockey team.
Yeah. Well, Jesse Pierce, if you're watching, Jesse likes to make it be an argument. I wish Jesse was here to air some more of our beef out, because we've literally argued about this, I think, for like a month straight, like between Twitter, our podcast, like other people are tagging us and stuff like, hey, you guys want to fight about this on my timeline? And we're like, sure. Like we're arguing about it every chance we can get. And Cam Talbot got selected. I mean, we knew Kaprizov was going to go. Cam Talbot was a bit of a surprise in the sense that, that wasn't a given. And he gets selected to go to the All-Star game. And of course, I gloated. I loved it. I asked for an apology from Jesse. I have yet to receive one. I'm still waiting on that, Jesse. If you want to send one my way, but I think it's well deserved. I know there's been a lot of debate, not just between Jesse and I, but just in general about like, is our goaltending good? Is it Stanley Cup winning worthy? How about the goaltending duo? The both of them, is one of them better than the other? I've been firm in my belief all season that I've liked Cam Talbot. I think he's capable of helping this team win. If the Wild go on and win a Stanley Cup, I think he's going to be a big reason for it. So I've really liked him, and I think him going to the All-Star game is well deserved. I know obviously the team has hit a bit of a slump here in the season, and the big argument has been, well, shouldn't your goalie be helping you win games like that? Which I do understand that argument, and yes, I think elite goaltenders do that. I don't know if I would put Cam Talbot in the category of elite, but I do think he is good enough to be a Stanley Cup winning goaltender with this Minnesota Wild team. So I love to see it. Only helps my argument. I'll be using this to boost my argument for the next few weeks, as the All-Star game isn't until the first weekend of February. So yeah, this is great news for me and Cam Talbot, of course.
Tanishka?
Yeah, honestly, I was a bit surprised to see him make it, but I'm happy for him. I hope that like once he gets back from injury here somewhat soon, I think he goes back to kind of how he was playing before the team itself hit the slump.
So we thought we were going to have almost a full complement of players tonight, and of course somebody put on social media yesterday, not me, Will, but somebody else put on social media yesterday about how much time Jeek had missed, but he'd only missed 3 games. And I swear it's like 2 minutes later comes the tweet, oh, he's going to COVID. He's not going to come back. I'm like, that's Minnesota. Boom, right there. He's healthy, but he's not. He's going to COVID. So we get 3 players back tonight. And back to the All-Star thing, I just want to point out that Ryan Hartman, who leads the team in goals with 15, is the Wild's candidate to be voted in, the last men in vote. And I thought I had it on what I had pasted over here, but you can find that, I'm sure, on the Wild site. And I went there and did it for a boomer like me. It took me 2 seconds. You just find his face, you click on the box, and you cast your vote for him. And so they'll be voting today. It's opened until, here it is. I got it. I'm sorry. NHL.com/lastmenin. NHL.com/lastmenin. Ryan Hartman, you can vote for him there. He's up against some good competition, but his play is worthy, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I mean, obviously, he's been a pleasant surprise on the team this year. I mean, we all knew that Ryan Hartman was a good player. Like he had a 20-goal season with Chicago back in the day. So, I mean, we knew he's capable of doing good things. But obviously, the beginning of his stint with the Wild wasn't anything to write home about. And then this season, he's really kicked it into high gear with some really good guys that he's competing against for goals, right? I mean, you've got Kirill Kaprizov, you've got Kevin Fiala, Jules Eriksson has really grown into more of a hockey player here. Marcus Foligno is scoring a lot, and then you've got a guy like Ryan Hartman showing up and seemingly getting goals in every single game. I mean, it's like he's always on the score sheet in some way, shape, or form, and it's like, how does he keep doing this? So I think he's well worthy of it. Like you said, Tim, obviously a lot of good competition he's going up against to get slotted into that All-Star game, but definitely deserving.
Yeah, and only Colorado is the only other team that got 2 reps in the Central Division. That's pretty good company. And I think if the Wild was still on top, probably a stronger case for maybe a third player.
Yep.
But the recent slide doesn't help, does it? So what are we hoping to see out of this team tonight, besides a no slow start?
Well, the Ducks started off the season not playing great hockey. Then they hit this streak where they were really playing some good hockey. They've got some nice young talent on the team. I don't think the Ducks are a good hockey team, and I'm confident in saying that. But they have played better, I think, in parts of this season than a lot of people expected going into the year. But the Wild have played the Ducks really well in recent years, so I have a lot of faith that the Wild can come out on top. They're getting a handful of guys back in this game. Kirill Kaprizov being one of them, which is going to be huge, and then Jordan Greenway and Brandon Duhaime are back as well. So you get a couple guys back. You won some really tough games. I mean, you beat Boston and the Caps. That's going to be a big confidence boost going into a game like this. And so you're coming off 2 wins like that, and you're trying to find your groove again after losing a handful of games. So I think the Wild come out on top on this one. I always hate the big gaps in between games. So that's like the one variable that I'm like, I don't know. Like sometimes this can really hurt a team, but I'm hoping the Wild don't let that affect them and pick up a win. The nice thing, the good news is they're back in action Monday afternoon. So if things go awry tonight, they've got a chance to get right back at it without too much of a gap in between.
Tanishka, you're missing the big snowstorm. Is it headed your way?
I don't think so. It's like 40 degrees out here today.
Enjoy that. We don't have that.
Yeah.
We all need our Willie Miles knit hats for what's going on. Close just by saying Minnesota well represented in the just released U.S. national team roster for the upcoming Winter Olympics in Beijing. 9 players with strong ties to the state heading to the games. 3 Gophers made the team. Noah Cates from UMD, Nathan Smith from Minnesota State Mankato, Sam Hinches, and Nick Purvis from St. Cloud State. Aaron Ness, the 2008 Mr. Hockey from Roseau, who's playing in the AHL, will be a defenseman on the team. And Drew Hellison, a Farmington native, who attended Shattuck St. Mary's, also there. The 9 men Olympic players to Minnesota Ties matches the 9 on the women's Olympic team, revealed January 1. Now we just have to have an Olympics. I mean, and I don't know if it's a good idea because of the super spreader and stuff, but I see where they're locking down whole cities and forcing people to do things that we don't force people to do in this country to have this. So I'm just like, if you want to go and you got named to the team, congratulations. I don't know. This is weird to me, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't think the Miracle on Ice days where you can put a team together for 4 or 5 months and have them play a schedule and do all that stuff. That's never going to happen again.
I think to me, it has seemed kind of crazy to us, but at the same time, I've had to keep reminding myself that this is some of these guys and women's like ultimate dreams to play for their country. So I keep thinking like, what would I sacrifice to do the one thing in this world that I really want to do? And the answer is, I think most people would agree they'd sacrifice a lot to either chase their dream or know for certain they could accomplish it. So that's what I keep going back to. I'm like, it seems crazy to us who are like, oh, I think I would just stay home, but we're not professional athletes. We're not going to ever represent our country in that sense. And for some of these players, I mean, it's the same argument that the NHLers were using where it's like, they might not ever get to do that again. I mean, you don't know. Sometimes that's your one chance. So I don't blame them. I hope everybody stays safe and comes home safe. And I hope they have fun while they're over there because they should have fun as well. I mean, that's an honor not a lot of people get to have. I don't envy them in the sense that it's they're risking a lot to do it, but hopefully they represent their country well and have a good time and stay safe.
Because I don't think it's a lot of people don't understand what it takes to get to be an elite athlete. I mean, you're talking elite, and that's a lot of training. And I've seen it. I never considered myself an elite. I was a top level. I was upper echelon. I probably missed elite by maybe 0.2 of a second, but that was a joke. And,
I still wanted to say same. I didn't know if you were serious or not. I was going to go.
I wasn't going to question you. I was like, all right, good enough.
I know. Oh, seriously. I mean, I was a really, really good athlete, but between me and elite was a decades. I mean, in terms of commitment of what you had to do and to see people train. When I was training for the Drake relays, and when I got there and realized those guys had been in world championship races. When you got in the block, you could feel that aura touching you because you didn't have that aura. And then when you come out of the blocks and you never make up one single step on these guys when they go back, and you're being pulled. I mean, I was being drafted. You know what I mean? I was like, I was scared I was gonna fall. My feet had never moved that fast before because I was being pulled around the track. So yeah, that's elite, and I was not that. And so I can see why they want to go. I can see why they want to do it. And they make every effort to be as safe as possible, but they take every risk possible to get there. And that's honorable, to me.
You look at the women from Team USA and the lockdowns that they've endured and the camps that they have gone through. They do that 4 or 5 month thing. They play that schedule and everything. So yeah, I hope it happens for all of them. We are proud of them and wish them, of course, nothing but the best. Working on having an Olympic coach on next week with us on one of the days. So I won't say too much more about that until it actually happens, but we're talking about making that happen. So yeah. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you having here. Tanishka, classes have begun, or did I ask you?
Yeah,
that?
Monday they did.
Okay, so what's your favorite class and what's your worst class so far?
Oh God, favorite class so far is probably my nutrition class because it's asynchronous. Least favorite, I haven't been in class as much to know yet.
Wow.
So, okay, TBA.
I like that attitude.
We'll go back to it.
It'll come, but we'll see.
I haven't
Alexis,
been in class that much. My GPA looks like it. I hadn't been in class too. So,
Alexis, what's going on?
I have a way too early flight tomorrow morning to head down to Florida for women's hockey games this weekend. I'm on the call for 1 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. I'm calling a couple of Toronto games, which are actually going to be on TSN this weekend. So if there's any Canadians who are watching this right now, you'd have a chance to do that, which is pretty big news for the women's hockey world to get them on TSN. As most people know, that is like the big hockey market in Canada. That's where you go for your hockey information. So it should be a fun weekend. Excited to get back down there. The last time I was supposed to go was during the big snowstorm in December, and my trip didn't end up happening. So excited to get back down and call a few games. Just not excited to be at the airport at 4 a.m. tomorrow, but we'll survive. We'll get there.
That's the price you pay.
That is the price we pay.
Right. Spain.
So can we see you? How can we see you?
So all the games are on ESPN Plus as well. So that's where you can watch them in the States. And then internationally, it's on Twitch. And then this weekend, they've got the couple Toronto games on TSN as well.
Look forward to it. And Willie, you filled in for us today. We appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. I got nothing going on till the 29th. I'm here if you need me, buddy.
Life is good. Life is good.
Dial me up.
Big thanks to our friends at Northern Lids for not only Willie's hat, but your continuing support of this program. This is Let's Play Every Day. And even if it's snowing outside, even if you can't get your flight, that's when you want to make sure that you get off the sideline, you get your Willie Miles beanie, you put it on your head, and you put yourself in the game, and you play every dang day.